Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the next part of the Bang Shishigami project, where, for all intents, the modeling phase is done and the painting phase is done. So what wound up happening between the last session and this one was I said I still had the little decals to do on the shoulders and on the back, and no matter how I tried to get my setup working with the camera, working around and trying to get it, I just could not find a setup where I could make these little guys of any kind of quality while on camera. So I know you may have wanted to see those being made, but I had to do those off camera. He has one on the back as well, which well, it's back there. You can kind of see it. But yeah, I did those off camera. I just could not find a way to get any kind of quality while doing it on camera. That said, just to give you a quick overview of how that went, there are generally 3 different ways you can go about making a detail like that. First off is you can do a stencil, which is you eventually make the negative space of the image, put it up against here, and then just kind of fill in the middle. You can do a stamp, where you can make like an image on, say, a piece of wood or whatnot, and carve that out, put a hole, like load the back of it with paint, and just kind of stamp it on there. Or you can just do it freehand, in which case, if you're smart or whatnot, what you'll do is you kind of give yourself maybe a couple guidelines in pencil or whatnot to kind of get it right and centered, and this, that, and the other. And the option I went for on this one was I just did it straight up freehand. I used no guidelines, no anything whatsoever. We just 100% just freehanded these things on. And it took quite a while to get it right. But I only had I felt like I had like one shot at them. But they turned out pretty okay in the end. So with that, I did another coat of green over everything. I did another coat of red. So right now, at the end result, he is all painted up. He is done. We have 5 coats of red to get the red correct, and we wound up with 4 coats of green to get that done, with the 3 coats of the silver here, although 2 of the coats were the darker color. Everything else was just the 2 coats, but yeah, 5, 4, and 3 to get the main things right. But overall, yeah, we can see he came out pretty okay. That said, I do have this derpy little thing to stick in front, but like I said, I don't think that's ever going to be stuck on front. He just looks better without it. So we have that. We have hand coming up. Spinning him around, just to kind of get an idea. We did manage to... The nail did actually slide in easier than I thought. It did have a couple red scrapes, so I did have to do another coat on the nail as well to kind of retouch that up afterwards. So it's generally not going to come back out again. But all in all, I'm really happy with this one. This guy came out really good in my mind compared to a lot of how my other ones, I feel like, although being that it's painted when the other ones I'd shown up here weren't, that kind of gives it a big plus. But like I said, I had a lot of fun with this one, but it is time to move on, not with a new project, but we're going to make the base, as you could probably tell from what I'm going to title this video. So, as much fun as it is to look at him, and how happy he is, and how it all kind of came together, give me 1 second, and I'm going to exit him screen right, and kind of put him in a safe place. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I just wanted to put him someplace safe. And what I also did off camera was, because I wasn't sure if I was doing the details or whatnot on this video or not, so I kind of gave myself a head start. So we are going to make kind of a cobblestone kind of pathway. I figured the base actually is the right... I was going to get myself a new base, and this actually is the right size. We're just going to use this one, because why not? And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to carve out this to kind of give it that cobblestone look, and then the next session will hopefully paint it up, and then this whole project should be done at this point. So first thing I want to do is I have my friend the painter's putty, because remember when we first did this, I have multiple holes up here. I have multiple holes down on the bottom. Remember, the inner hole was before the first hardening. During the first hardening, the legs spread out a little bit, so it kind of migrated a little bit over the side. So first thing I want to do is I want to fill in these holes, just so I have the two that I need here. And as you can tell, the putty I have has a hole in the top, so this has been drying out like crazy, which is fantastic, but I don't need much of it, as long as a little bit of this thing is still, as long as a little bit of this is still viable. Now, as I carve this down, I may need to refill this again, because you can only push this into a hole so far. It's usually used to kind of cover up nail holes or whatnot. Or there's also another one called windows glazing, which is pretty much the exact same thing, which is what you think it is. It's literally window glazing, but it does kind of the exact same thing. So I just want to get that, so at least I can just see, I can see the two holes I have to work with. So in theory, this should be pretty straightforward and easy. In theory. So what I'm going to do is each of these is going to represent a block, obviously, on here. So I need to carve down every one of these to kind of make the grout space that goes between, or the mortar space that would kind of go between. And then I kind of just want to round off each of the stones just a teeny bit. And so for that, I'm going to use my good friend the Dremel here. And I have one of these kind of saw blade looking bits. I'm going to use just, I'm not going to go down deep. We really don't want these to be super deep, but it's just enough to kind of get a 3D effect in here. And then once that's done, I have drum sander I can then use to kind of just round off the edges ever so slightly. And along with that, we also have, in case something goes seriously wrong, we have some band-aids. I got some Neosporin stuff, so in case something goes wrong using one of these guys, we're set. I've never had an issue yet, but we're set. After that, what I want to do is then kind of distress this wood a little bit. We don't want it to look all nice, neat, and clean when it's done. We're going to have a little kind of, I don't want to say a volcanic kind of look to it, but I don't think a lot of the area, if I remember the game correctly, is generally kind of foot trafficked and whatnot. It's don't have automobiles and stuff going down. You don't have heavy machinery and stuff going down. So it's a lot of foot traffic. So I think it's going to be less, kind of a less worn look, let's say that's going to be. So I kind of want to distress this a little bit after as well. And all I'm going to use for that is kind of, we have a number of kind of pointy bits on here, and I can just kind of distress it that way. We don't want this to look brand new in the end. And then once that is all said and done, depending how the edges, I have a couple of these strips lying over still from college, so I've had them for like 20 years and never been used. And I can just kind of put then a perimeter around here to make that all look good. And then we're going to prime it. And derpy me, we got the same primer I had before. Derpy me, I was supposed to pick up some play sand to put into the primer to kind of give it a little more of a texture. Because if you want to distress it more, you can distress it by kind of bopping down. Usually if you have like large pieces like plywood or whatnot, you can get chains or whatnot, just kind of whack it down, just do something to kind of age it. The other way, especially on this scale, that could have worked really well, is I could have picked up some play sand or whatnot, and get one of the cups of the primer, mix it in there, and that'll give you texture as well. So we made that, and that is where we're going to get today. That said, I'm not 100% sure how sound balance is going to be on this, because it's going to be this Dremel is going to be used a lot today. So I'm going to apologize for the sound balancing, but it's going to be what it's going to be, and that's just it. And let's see what we can do, because I'm, as much as this sounded like I'm super confident about everything I just said, in the back of my mind, I just feel like I'm playing this by ear, because I've never had to do this specific detail before. So let's have some fun. Woodworking. Yay. Yeah, so I'm not going to go super deep on this stuff. Which also I'm using such a small bit on here. Because that's going to, even if I do accidentally go all the way down on this, it's not going to let me go super deep. That said, this is pine, so it will cut through pretty easily, which is nice. It's just this is going to be a little bit of a time sink. So if you don't want to see this part, you might want to skip ahead about 10 minutes. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do this one section here completely, and then we'll come back and do the others. So even if I don't finish all of this, you'll see the process for getting all of it done. Good thing is none of this has to be perfect. Again, we can say it's a weathered thoroughfare, so things can move around over time, things can change. This isn't a brand new kind of roadway surface. So if some things look nice, straight, and good, that's nice. If some things look a little disorganized and or crooked or whatnot, that also kind of works. Thankfully, this does not have to be the neatest kind of cut in the world. You notice I'm trying to keep my fingers as far away from this as possible. I don't want to injure myself on this thing. That would be bad. Okay, so again, we're going to be doing this throughout the entire area. I can just do one section at a time. And let's see, to get this thing off. Again, nice thing is I do these Spartan races, so my grip is amazing. I can do that. I can put it up high, and it's not flying off. So thankfully, you don't need to worry about that. It is nice to have good grip. So that's now just going to kind of round off the edges just a little bit. Again, I think a lot of this effect is going to come on the painting side of things, not so much on this kind of today's worth of stuff. So I'm just doing, again, subtle details, which I'm looking at my monitor right now, which is way off to the side, so I'm trying to keep dust away from it, which is going to be good luck, but I'm trying. But yeah, you can't really see much on there. Let's see if this one makes a little more of a difference. Again, these don't need to be even kind of throughout. We can have on camera, yep. Something's going to be a little deeper, something's going to be a little less. We're just giving ourselves a little bit of texture. That's it. I do want these to actually read as different elements. Nice thing is, there's no real way to do this wrong, I hope. Either that or everything I'm doing right now is wrong, one or the other. Hard to tell sometimes. Cleaning up this room after this is done is going to feel so wrong. Get the feeling the vacuum's about to get a lot of use. Okay, so very important, I want to keep this hole actually about at the maximum height on this, because the peg going down is theoretically around 3/4 of an inch deep. So I do want to keep the hole at the full height. The stuff around it doesn't have to be, but as long as the hole itself is where it wants to be, that's perfect. Now, unfortunately, I have no idea if you can hear anything I'm saying right now or not. So that's why I'm kind of being a little quiet throughout much of this. I'm not saying too much, because I don't know if you can hear anything. If I could, like, tell you stories and whatnot, but no idea if that's going to come out. Because otherwise, this is going to be what most of the video is going to wind up being, because this is a big kind of redundancy kind of element. Yeah, because figure this is about 20% of the board right here. So I am not going to 100% finish this thing on camera. I'm not seeing that happening. I'm going to get as much as I can, but I don't see the whole thing being done. That said, by the next time you turn this thing on, I will finish the rest off camera. I will get through that priming phase. So the next time is going to be just the painting side of things. Oh, we are definitely breaking the vacuum out after this. That's fine. Part of the process. Where are we? Okay, so you can see we have kind of, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has a rough texture, which is kind of what we're going for. And then what I'm going to do, oh, we are going to leave all the vacuum once this thing is done, but that's just part of it. Well, I have essentially two of these guys here. I can just go, like I said, it would be nice if I can add some sand to the guy. Ooh, sorry. But we can just add a little bit of distressing and it's nothing that you can even see on camera, but it's adding little kind of divots here and there. As I said before, one of the things I notice on a lot of cosplayers and stuff to go, and if you ever see videos of them, the people who dress up as whatever, yes, a lot of them look really good, but a lot of the times you see it, it always just looks like this brand new thing that's never been worn before. It looks all nice, shiny, and new and whatnot, and a lot of what those are missing is just that kind of, the characters they're representing have been living in the uniforms and the outfits, whatever they've been wearing forever, and they just kind of miss that distressed look. So part of what we're going to do is we want to make these things look distressed. We want this to feel like it's been lived on, like it's going through. So even if you can't see it on the camera, texturally this just feels right. And yeah, I know it's not going to help for this purpose of this video, but again, I want to have that. And I wasn't sure how deep I was going on that. I figured if I was going deep enough, I could use these. I have thicker pieces on this I could use then to kind of cover on the side, but just in case this cut deep enough to kind of get to that mark, if these kind of little things here came down far enough, I could just use that on the bottom, but that may not even be necessary. I might just be able to be there and be good. So this is pretty much what the rest of this video is going to be. It's going to be just making the rest of this look like that. So I know we're only about, what's that, 20 minutes in-ish? Yes, 20 minutes. Okay. Like I said, this is where doing my Spartan stuff is great because I have a really, really good grip strength. Yep, here we go. It's locked in. It's not going anywhere. So we're making progress. So yeah, like I said, we're going to try to get this to all now match that. And it's actually, I'm feeling really good about this. I'm kind of liking this. Again, I don't know how it's turning out on camera, but visually speaking, it is quite nice. Okay, next part. Now I feel bad because if you can hear what I'm saying while I'm doing this, I feel really bad for not talking now. But I said I do have the tools to do this by hand rather than with a Dremel, but I feel like this would be, for time's sake, this should be a little bit easier to get things done in a more timely manner. That said, thankfully this is pine, so it does cut easy enough. I'm not sure how good or bad like an oak or something would have been, but don't have to worry about that. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. That said, I have several ideas on how to paint this, but this is one of those where now my 40 hours of painting experience on model painting type stuff, this is where it may show. This is going to be a big, this painting part is going to be a big learning experience for me. Because I have an idea on how I want to do it, but I'm not sure how it's going to come out in the end. But I've also said stuff like that before, and things tend to come out pretty well. So I'm not gonna dwell on it. That is going to be tomorrow's problem, not today's. Because I know one thing you don't want is everything to be 100% uniform, especially if you have like an older structure. Things are going to age differently depending where the stones are mined themselves. Even within a similar mine, they're going to come across different. So it's going to be a matter of how do we create variety in the colors and textures and whatnot without having to kind of necessarily obsess over every single one. We can kind of... Well, anyway, I have some ideas. We'll see if it works. In any event, the painting part is where kind of the magic is going to happen. Anyway, am I even on camera? Because that would be the biggest shame, making all this noise for nothing. Okay, I have a good firm grip on this thing too, so nothing is going to slide around. I'm not going to hit my hand that way. Again, that's going to come from experience, knowing how hard you need to hold things, what the pressure is and all that. So if you're doing this yourself, you've never had to use one of these before, be mindful when the first time you use it. But I have used these things before. I understand, generally speaking, what's going to cause it to kick back, what's not going to cause it to kick back. Thankfully, this doesn't have that much kick to it. So okay, you can see we are most of the way there, and the tabletop is getting covered with stuff, so that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen other videos online of people doing this kind of thing out of like a hard foam or whatnot, especially if they're doing like a wall kind of situation, like a brick wall or whatnot. But I've never seen anybody do, at least the videos I have seen of people do this type of thing, I haven't actually seen a stone floor like this before. So I am just kind of ad-libbing this entire thing right now. But that's part of what the fun is, just kind of, you know what the end result you want this to look like, so it's a matter of how do you get there. And just kind of keep working backwards. It's like watching a MacGyver show. Again, I loved MacGyver growing up. It was just, you have this kind of crazy situation, you kind of look around, you see what materials you have, and you figure out a solution from there. But it's not just knowing what materials you have, it's knowing what solution you want to get, and then you work backwards from that. If you want X, Y, or Z to happen, do you then look around and kind of see, do you have materials to make that happen? If you don't and you're short in material, do you have other materials that can then make up for the material that you don't have? And there's always kind of this, you know the end result you're looking for, how do you go about and get yourself to that solution? And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I know exactly how I want this to look, and even though I haven't done it before, I can make up a solution to get myself to what I want. Oh, we have dust everywhere, but I knew this day was coming. This is what we have vacuums and stuff for. How are we doing on time? We're about halfway there. We're actually going to get more of this. Okay. Yes, it will come out nice and easy. It's also very toasty. This thing is very, very toasty right now. Come on. Let's not actually touch that with our hands. Okay. So we might actually get all of this part done. May or may not have it primed. May or may not have it primed on camera. We're going to get a decent chunk of this done. Like I said, I'm feeling really good about this. I know it's not reading on camera nearly as well as this is feeling in real life. It has that roughness. It feels like it's been worn in. Even though the heights are all generally the same, there is a lot of play going on in this, so it's making me feel really good. It's just I'm making a whole lot of noise and I'm making a whole lot of dust in the process. And I'm hoping you can see stuff out of the lens, because that's probably already caked in dust as well, so apologize for that. There's going to be a lot of cleaning after this. But here we go. Yeah, I'm going to find it best just kind of doing a couple individual stones at a time, because that way I know I get to all sides of it. If I were to kind of do one side of a lot of things, I would very easily forget that I have or have not done certain sides of things. So one of the main goals of this is just be very methodical in the process I use to do all these sides. Because like I said, it is going to be incredibly easy to not do certain things. Am I on camera? Yes, I am. That's good. Because each block needs all four sides kind of carved down, or else if you wind up with just like a straight 90-degree angle on one of these sides as it sticks up, it's going to stick out at you like a sore thumb. So Alright, what next? Yeah, so in general, I'm just kind of doing these edges first. So you got the minimum, you got the sides kind of going in, and then we just kind of, yeah, just maybe do just a little bit in here. Again, visually it may not do much, but it's adding that texture that if you feel it in real life here, it has the feel of what we want. So again, this is definitely one of those where I don't know how camera friendly this kind of thing is versus what I'm expecting and what I'm getting in real life here. But I am very happy on time-wise how this is going, because I thought this would be much more of a time sink than it seems to actually be right now. I'm also glad it looks like I actually am generally on camera, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, again, we don't want uniform. We want kind of wobbly-bobbly in here. We want this thing to feel aged. It's been around for a while. The streets of Ikebukuro? I want to say it's Ikebukuro. I may look this up if I'm 100% wrong. Maybe I'll put it in the description what it actually is. But because yeah, I played the, like I said, before starting this entire project, I did just play the game a bit, just to have fun with it, kind of get re-familiar with the characters. Hadn't done a fighting game in a while, but I also started this project like 2 months ago, so even in that regard, it's been some time. Let's see. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting. Actually, that's looking pretty good. You can even see it. You can see that it's coming out pretty okay. At some point in time, I'm just going to get to go over my entire work environment here. And like I said, I think it's not just a desk. I need to like redo lighting, redo desk stuff, redo display stuff. I have a whole list of things that at some point I need to rethink on this whole production. I think on top of that, we also have like probably new cameras type stuff would also be good. New microphone. It's like I need. It's more than just the work environment here. I need a lot of stuff kind of figured out. But lighting is definitely on the list, so we can actually see what I'm doing here correctly. Because this overhead lighting isn't working. What I could do is I can also like start a Patreon page or something. And if people want to help cover the cost of any of these types of improvements or whatnot, I can make this setup. That might also be great. Because the rate I'm going, this is never going to be a monetized stream on YouTube, that's for sure. I've seen the requirements to make this a monetized stream, and I am quite a ways off of those types of things. So, would be nice to have some additional way to, like I said, maybe monetize. It'd be nice to have an interest. It would be nice to be able to have it be self-sufficient, kind of paying for itself. But we're a little ways off of that right now. Let's be honest. How are we doing on time? We still have about 20 minutes to go, so we're still doing good on time. Yeah, I hope you liked looking at Bang earlier in the first couple minutes of this, because he's not coming back for the end of this session. I know I like kind of finishing off each session, kind of going, ooh, wow, look at how much how much progress I've made on him. That's not going to happen this time. He's staying as far away from this dust as possible. And as much as it looks like it's super dusty, it's really not picking up, because usually my nose will go nuts on this after a while, and it's still feeling nothing. So it's not doing anything crazy at the moment. Right, I still have, I'm like, ooh, wow, look at that, I finished. No, I still have this little mini piece from, but the center, it's like the game piece from Trivial Pursuit. That's what I have left here. The little pizza wedge guys. Okay. You see, we're getting somewhere. Alright, next we have this arc. Am I still on camera? Technically, yes. Good. Alright, next one. Yeah, I was a little worried about this because I wasn't sure how the Dremel stuff was going to turn out in the end. And I'm not going to say, yay, it's been a success so far, because I'm going to need to wait for the video playback, or me playing this thing back, to kind of see. But it's feeling like it's working okay right now. And that's like half the battle. I mean, it's coming out, it's looking like what it's supposed to look like. It has that old kind of world charm going to it. I don't have my neighbors pounding on my door right now, because I live in an apartment, so I don't have my neighbors pounding on my door right now going, what's all this noise you're making? So, at least there's that. Considering it's the middle of the week right now, it's a Wednesday. Yeah, my goal is to have, today is Wednesday, so my goal is to get this part done today. Tomorrow, I want to get the entire project. I want to have this all painted tomorrow, done, and the bang project will be finished, hopefully tomorrow, when I do the painting part on this. Because I have some special fun stuff coming in the mail on Friday that I want to experiment with a little bit. So I want to have all this stuff kind of out of the way and finished, so I can start getting ready for the next step. That said, also, being as this is going live Saturday, that means the next one I do, like I said, I want if I'm going to finish a project, I want to finish it on a weekend. I don't want to finish this on a Monday. So, I think win, lose, or draw, when we get to the painting part next session, that's going to be it. Okay, we're almost there. This is good because I really don't want to be pushing my luck on the noise factor any longer than I have. Now we're on time, stuff like 10 minutes. Needed just a little bit more of an angle there. There we go. Alright, so there we have. We now have pretty nice textured ground. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's see, I think I want a little more. It's not reading super well right here. Let's get some of these big ones. Let's just make sure these big ones here do read well, because those are kind of the ones that count more than anything else. That counts. That one counts. These kind of where it changes direction are the ones that kind of... Okay. So we have ourselves a textured ground. Nice little cobblestone path. So I'm just going to go distress this thing even just a little bit more, although that did a really good job of just distressing it kind of as is. But we can add this. No, that's going to be not enough for the point. I feel like a little kid doing this. Let's see. Okay, much easier grip this way. Yeah, this is much easier grip just doing it that way and getting. Again, all I'm doing is just distressing this a little bit more, adding a couple little pot things. They may all just completely disappear in the paint. If it does, that's fine. Just want to give it a little more, those kind of little pot marks. Again, I'm not sure. I know in the game itself there are a lot of kind of sky cities in the game, and I forget if Bangs is one of the sky cities kind of or not, in which case you're going to be on top of a mountain on the bottom rather than on the bottom. So on the bottoms of the mountains, if you're going to have walkways, they're going to be largely probably sedimentary stone type stuff. They've been worn down through erosion and this, that, and the other. It's going to be a lot smoother. I figure if you're on the top of a mountain, there's going to be less erosion on these rocks. And again, it's basically just kind of pedestrian foot traffic going through these areas and not much more. So I'm trying to make them a little bit rougher for being up here than they otherwise would be than if they were down at the bottom. So again, I'm imagining this is more like a basaltic or like an igneous kind of rock, which has like the water or the air vapor and all type of stuff, which is trying to escape as it hardens. So trying to match the environment as best I can based on what kind of I imagine it to be. So less of a sedimentary look and more of an igneous look is kind of what I'm going for. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know, but we're going for more of an igneous look than a sedimentary look. Okay, so we have a gazillion holes going on in this, which I'm not sure you can see, but otherwise I'm staring at the preview on this, and it does read pretty well. You can see all the stuff I want to get done. You can see the design going on. So I'm happy with that. Oh, I'm not happy looking down at everything around me, which is very, very bad. There's nothing around me right now that is good. We have... Once this camera gets turned off, sorry about that. Once this camera is turned off, there's going to be a lot of cleaning going on. There will be much cleaning. Okay, can I have something shorter? I can do this. I can do this on top of this. At least it's off the ground and whatnot. And I think with all the distress stuff I've done, I'm going to be okay not adding the other stuff to the primer, the sand to the primer. I think it's going to wind up being fine. So all we're going to do is take some of this guy, get it prepped. And if I have some of the sawdust is still in here and it's adding texture, you know what? That's fine. That is okay. So that's I'm not super concerned with everything. And frankly, I honestly didn't think I was going to get this far. I didn't think I was getting nearly this far. I thought priming was, it was like my stretch goal was to get out to this part, and then priming would be done after the fact. But somehow or other, somehow we made it here. And in a way, that's kind of like a little mini miracle. Now if we can get the painting side tomorrow to look good, that's gonna be more. This I thought would take longer, but I had a lot of confidence it would turn out kind of well, even if I'm making jokes kind of the other kind of to the kind of sides saying, oh, I've never seen it before, I don't know. I know the effect I'm going for. I work with wood a lot. I know I have, like I said, I haven't done this specific application before, but I do. Part of my job is to figure this type of stuff out. I'm the guy who comes in and does the specialty kind of jobs. If you need like custom bookcases or custom pieces that match or kind of blend in with other things, that's generally what I'm here, what my job is. So I didn't fear getting this part to look how I want it to. The painting side of things could be interesting. So, like I said, I have an idea what I'm going for, but I'm not 100% sure it's going to turn out because it's all going to depend on choosing colors quickly, and there's going to be a lot of ad lib kind of going in on the painting side of things. So next session could be interesting. I think we are all going to be learning from that one. But at the same time, I'm excited for it because at least now I feel like I have a nice, good base to go off of. Also, this primer is not spreading at all. It is just, every brush stroke is just going nowhere. And I'm kind of surprised I'm not like sneezing like crazy, because usually if I have the Dremel going for an extended period, it will get to me, because I'm not actually wearing a mask right now, because I feel like I wasn't going to be able to speak effectively if I had one on. But yeah, no, the dust wasn't exactly flying into the sky, or into the air as much as just kind of it's staying a lot on the ground, which is fantastic. And I'm looking at my watch, and I feel like this is a lot like watching like Iron Chef, where you have like they have the hour to prepare everything, and it always gets done like at the last second. And somehow I give myself like an hour for all these things, and I'm gonna wind up right there. So, assuming I remember what time the time I thought I started at is the time we're at, but this is kind of freakish. It's working out freakishly well, and I don't know how. Let's maybe turn the camera just a little bit. Gotta see all this action and excitement going on right now. The biggest excitement is going to be refining the hole up here, which has now disappeared. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. This hole shouldn't disappear. That's the wider hole. This is for the 1/8 inch dowel. The 1/8 inch steel goes in that one. The other one was a skinnier 16th dowel. I believe it's a 16th inch that goes in the other. But this one's the full big guy, so I will always have the one, and I can always use the other thing as like a compass. I can always pop it in there and kind of rotate around until I kind of find it. So. But no, this came out pretty good. So that's what we have. That is what we have to work with. We got ourselves a cobblestone base. So that was fun. I'm looking at the watch. We are right there on time. And next time, we're going to convert this into the actual walkway. And that should be the final part of the Bang Shishigami project. We have done the modeling, we have done the painting, and now we are finishing off the base. So until then, and until next time, enjoy.